Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the RotoBaller Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here today as we take a look at hitters available on the waiver wire for Week 9 of your fantasy baseball season. The week beginning Monday, May 22nd. Full disclosure, recording this Thursday, May 18th, so obviously things can change between now and when you see this video, when you set those fab budgets, when you set that waiver wire. So be mindful of all of that. And as always, we use Yahoo roster percentages for our talking points, trying to keep all the players mentioned here today at 50% rostered or less on Yahoo. Apologies if they're already owned or rostered in your leagues. Just kudos to your league for being aware of these players. So we start, ladies and gentlemen, my number one ad of the week, my featured ad, Cincinnati Reds rookie shortstop Matt McLean. Already 44% rostered. So after this weekend, probably going to be tough to get him. Won't be able to talk about him much. Our early season just got called up a couple of days ago. Coming into Thursday, he was 2 for 8 on the season. This is a top prospect, one of the Reds' top 10 prospects, getting the call up. This year at AAA, he was hitting .348 with a nice power speed combination of 12 home runs and 10 RBIs. A player who at AAA had a similar walk rate to strikeout rate, so you sign up for that. That walk rate this year at AAA, 16.8%, while that strikeout rate was under 20 at 19.7. That leads to a .474 on-base percentage. And in minor league, a AAA OPS of 1.184, elite level stuff. A guy who could give double-double type of numbers. Power speed combo is what we always are looking for. And that's what Matt McLean was giving down at AAA for the Cincinnati Reds. He was the team's 9th ranked prospect. He's already, like we said, 44% rostered on Yahoo, hitting second in the Reds lineup. He could be a nice addition if you're dealing with injury. The Manny Machado fractured hand is the big one day to day, but who knows what happens going forward. At number 2, Arizona Diamondback outfielder Dominic Fletcher. Big news out of Arizona. Alek Thomas got sent down to the minors. He didn't hit. Dominic Fletcher has hit. Dominic Fletcher now potentially an ad if you need outfield help. On Yahoo, he's only 20% rostered. Makes him 80% available in leagues. I added him just the other day in a midweek waiver ad. On the season, .375 batting average. Over the last 14 days, it's .370. 2 homers, 13 RBIs since he's gotten called up. Started the season down at AAA. He's carrying an on-base percentage of .407 and an OPS of 1.014. He's gotten a terrific start for the Diamondbacks in the outfield, hitting 6th or 7th in that Arizona lineup. In the minor leagues, he's been a .300 hitter everywhere he's gone between 2022 and 2023 with double-digit homer and stolen base upside. And again, a path to playing time created with the demotion of Alek Thomas. At number 3, Casey Schmidt of the San Francisco Giants. Third baseman by trade. He's been playing some shortstop, though, for the Giants with Brandon Crawford out. Crawford returned the other day. What's going to happen to Schmidt? He starts at third base right away, moving J.D. Davis into a DH role. He's the Giants' number 4 ranked prospect coming into this season. In 2022 in the minor leagues, 21 combined home runs between 3 levels with a .300+ batting average at all 3 stops. 47% rostered on Yahoo, so right on the fringe of where we could still get Casey Schmidt of the Giants. But right now, .417 batting average and identical on-base percentages. The one thing I don't like, Casey Schmidt has not drawn a walk yet this season. I don't love that approach, but he's not striking out a lot. He's only striking out 16.7% of the time. So that .417 batting average is also his on-base percentage. 2 homers, 7 RBIs, 7 runs scored since his recall. An OPS of 1.111. Again, the Giants' number 4 ranked prospect. We see what happens. Does he slide into a super utility role? Do they give him third base and let J.D. Davis DH? Now that Brandon Crawford is back, hitting 6th in that Giant lineup. At number 4, the more veteran of the players, and he's not really that much of a veteran, but he's been around a few years, But we got to pay attention to Jake Berger of the Chicago White Sox, who I did mention a few weeks back. He then got hurt. He's now back. He's played 4 games, including this afternoon, Thursday. Since his return in those 4 games, Jake Berger has played every day, and he's hit 500. He's 8 for 16 in his 4 games since returning from the injured list, with, in those 4 games, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. He has 10 home runs on the season with only 20 RBIs. He mashes. That's what Jake Berger does, and right now he is doing that. And yet he's only 22% rostered because of the injured list stint between the beginning of the year and this recent hot streak. Okay, problem with Jake Berger, he's hitting about 270 on the season. It's not going to last. The strikeout rate does creep up on him, and nonetheless, that should come back down. But the power is legitimate. He's on pace for 20, 25 home runs. He's better hitter than Yohan Moncada right now. I don't care what anybody tells me. So Jake Berger at 22% rostered, another potential replacement for Manny Machado. At number 5, okay, and from the bottom, from the rest of this list, I'll go through quickly because they're repeats. Mark Vientos, I mentioned him last week as a minor leaguer to consider adding, and then don't you know, he got the call up 2 days ago. In his debut on Wednesday, he went 1 for 4, including a big 2-run home run. AAA, he was mashing. He conquered everything there was to do there. 333, 13 homers, 37 RBIs. Not left to prove for the Mets rookie up at Syracuse. But now with the Mets, 1 for 4, plays third base Wednesday. Not in the lineup, though, on Thursday to go back to the other rookie, Brett Beatty. Vogelbach DH is where we want to see Vientos. So right now, that's why Vientos sits at number 5. The power plays. The question becomes, does he become a regular fixture at the DH? Is he platooning at third? Is he platooning at third base? We got to see how that all shakes out. Other players I've mentioned in the past who continue to swing a hot bat and are still, in my opinion, under-rostered. Lane Thomas of the Washington Nationals, only 29% rostered. Vientos, by the way, 15%. Lane Thomas, 29% rostered. He's hitting 309 on the season. 281 on the season. 309 over the last 14 days. 281 on a year, 5 home runs, 4 stolen bases. Batting leadoff for the Washington Nationals. Leody Taveras of the Texas Rangers, mentioned him last week as well. He's still only 7% rostered, yet over the last 14 days, Taveras is hitting 362 with 4 stolen bases. He's got 5 stolen bases on the year and hitting 298 with a 362 on base percentage, hitting 9th for the Rangers, the first place Texas Rangers. Okay, 22% strikeout rate to an 8.5% walk rate. Gets on base, scoring runs. He's got 15 runs scored since he got called up, and those 5 stolen bases. And finally, and people made comments about Jorge Solaire. Oh, just when you add him, he's going to be terrible. He's going to be terrible. Solaire continues to hit. Does Solaire of the Miami Marlins. 326 over the last 14 days with 6 homers, 14 RBIs. He's up to 24 RBIs and 11 home runs on the season while hitting 240. Sign me up for that 240 if he maintains it. Draws enough walks to make you happy 9.5% of the time. Striking out 25% of the time. Not bad for a guy on pace for 30 home runs. Recently went from 2nd to 4th in that Miami Marlins lineup. I mentioned him last week. His rostership upticked, but it's still at only 33% on Yahoo. Deeper leagues, he's already rostered. Shallower leagues, he may be available, but in shallower leagues, he should be rostered as well. 11 home runs on the season definitely does play. So, to review, the new additions to the waiver wire ads this week. Number 1, my premium ad, Matt McLean of the Cincinnati Reds, 44% rostered, shortstop eligible. At number 2 is Dominic Fletcher, outfielder, Arizona Diamondbacks, 20% rostered. Number 3, Casey Schmidt, San Francisco Giants, 47% rostered, shortstop, third base eligible. At number 4, Jake Berger, third base eligible, Chicago White Sox, 22% rostered. And then the repeats from last week, number 5, Mark Vientos, 15% rostered, utility, hopefully eventually third base eligible from the New York Mets. Number 6, Lane Thomas, Washington Nationals, outfielder, 29% rostered. Number 7, Leody Taveras, outfielder, Texas Rangers, only 7% rostered. And then Solaire, Jorge Solaire of the Miami Marlins, outfielder, shockingly low, only 33% rostered. Folks, head over to rotoballer.com, sign up today, use the premium code ACES, save yourself money at checkout, get all the great content, including lineup optimizers, team sync tools, you name it, rotoballer.com has it for you. Like and subscribe right here to the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Download the RotoBaller app. It's free. All the news and information from rotoballer.com right there in the palm of your hand. And give me a follow on Twitter at Aniano Fantasy. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on RotoBaller Radio.